Good evening and welcome in. This is the Right Wing. I'm your host, Jared Wright, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be bringing you the news, bringing you the politics, bringing you what's new this week. We obviously have some pretty big news with the resigning of Marjorie Taylor Greene. This was some of the largest news we've had in weeks, honestly. A big surprise. At the peak of her popularity, at the peak of her, what I would call her fame, at the peak of her biggest win, Marjorie steps down and announces her resigning coming in January. This is this is a big deal. This is obviously probably the hottest topic right now. She's been a pretty hot name in politics. On top of this, another hot name, another famous woman, Candace Owens, comes out yesterday with info that there has been an assassination hit put out on her by the French government that the American government knows about. This is another piece of wild news. We're gonna go over both of these tonight. We may speak about Mom Donnie. We may speak about other things as well, but those are the two biggest ones. What do we have going on here? Seems I've lost my notes. There we go. Those are the two biggest pieces of information tonight. Before we get into the show, just want to dive into some housekeeping. Like I've been saying, it's Christmas. We got some new decorations up. I hope y'all like it. I'm not much of a Christmas tree guy, but I got you a little mini Christmas tree and a big old deer because I like deer. That's my Christmas. My Christmas celebrating and decorating comes down to deer for the most part. And as always, my Christmas Cat Williams, the number one decoration. So yeah, I appreciate y'all's support. Those of you coming from Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, X, we're TikTok, we're all around right now. We got streams going everywhere. I appreciate y'all. If you have not joined the Telegram is where I give you all of my up-to-date news, all of my kind of behind the scenes to an extent. I put polls in there. We talk about things. I give you some breaking news when they happen. If you have not joined that, make sure you go join it. The link's in my Instagram bio. It's a nice little thing. It's like a little community of people. I think we're up to like 30 something people in there. It's not a ton yet. I just started it, so go join it. You'll enjoy that. Other than that, I think we're gonna dive into the events that have happened and what's to come. What's next? I think that's the two main things we need to talk about is what has happened and what's next, because I think it's important. And I think the way that these two ladies have spoke in the last couple of days kind of gives us a glimpse of the future and what to expect. So first off, we got to talk about Marjorie. I want to show you her letter. We're not going to play her video. I'll show you the letter. We may read through some small spots of it because there's a couple spots that really were interesting, to say the least. Let me go on over here and pull that up here. This is her official statement. Starts off with, we'll just read the very beginning here. She's always says, I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've been despised in Washington, D.C. and never fit in. This is true. She's always kind of been an outsider. And she goes down talking about how she's done everything she can for America. She worked her butt off. She supported President Trump through thick and thin. And for him to denounce her the way he has is quite ridiculous. And what I really want to dive into on this letter, because obviously this is her saying, I've done what I can, but I'm resigning. That's kind of what this is saying. And right down here at the bottom, I don't know if you can see my mouse on here or not. Let me see if I can highlight. No, I cannot. Right down here at the bottom, starting right here, there is no plan to save the world or some insane 4D chess game being played. When the common American people finally realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then Marjorie will be there by their side to help rebuild this. And until then, she's going back to the people she loves, to her family, to her people. What is she saying here? I think we need to understand first and foremost what she's saying. There is no way out of this. We're here. We are in it. We're in the thick of it, and there's not one elected official that can change it. I think Marjorie came to that conclusion, and I think that this was coming in some capacity. I think that she's understood that her time's ran its course in 6 years, I think all it's been. I also think she was threatened in some case, in some way, or blackmailed. And they said, look, it's going to get bad for you if you don't stop. And I think her putting this out and saying what she said is a way of kind of gathering up the troops and telling them there's nothing we can do. And I put this on my Instagram. I put this on my TikTok. I said, can we overcome what has happened peacefully? Is democratically, in the democratic republic that we have, is it possible to overcome what is going on in this country? The undying support for Israel, the corruption from within. Most of y'all, I think 90% of y'all on the poll said no. We had to have something radical. And it's a curious thought. It truly is. How do we overcome this? And Marjorie's even telling us there is no overcoming this. There is no 4D chess being played. There is no overcoming the acts of our congressmen and women, the system, without something radical. I want to preface everything I say by saying this is not a call to violence right now. I don't want to be the fallback for saying, oh, he called us to violence. That's not what I'm calling you to. I'm simply reporting what I found and what the people say, what Marjorie has said. But there is no way to get through this government, to get through this corruption without something radical. That's an interesting thought. And it's wild to think about. It's scary to think about what's coming in the next 5 to 10 years because our country is at the verge, it's at the tipping point where it's no longer salvageable if something radical doesn't happen. We see what's happening in the UK and in most of Europe. It's not salvageable anymore. It's been overrun. It's happening here. Marjorie sees it happening here very clearly. She got out. Whether that was from being threatened, from being blackmailed, or simply from not wanting to fight anymore, I get it. I know for a fact, she's my representative in my district. I know for a fact from multiple sources that she has received multiple death threats. And that is wrong. That is disgusting and it's wrong. And if you're one of those people who did that or know somebody who's giving her death threats, honestly, leave. Get off my show and go consider changing, unless you're against it. But this is disgusting that we're just sending death threats. That's our compromise because Trump denounces her, which was wrong. She supported him through thick and thin on 95 to 99% of the issues. And the only two were that she thinks we should release the list of pedophiles, and two, we shouldn't send all of our money to a bunch of demon worshipers in Israel. And she didn't even take a hard stance on it. She took a purely Israel stance on it, whereas most of us, we understand that it's a transnational organized Jewry issue. It's not just Israel. It's those supporting Israel worldwide and this group that they have and this false religion that they take. We recognize that. She didn't even take that stance. She took the moderate stance on Israel. And here she is, death threats, essentially stemming from President Trump. How awful is that? It requires a moment of pausing and just thinking for a second. How awful is that? And this isn't some speculation. I know for a fact through multiple sources that she is taking death threats, that she has had them, that she is not necessarily worried, but concerned to some extent. And who wouldn't be? Simply because she stands up for America. And you have all these yahoos all over the internet saying, oh, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Marjorie Trader Green, Trader Brown. Oh, are you kidding me? If there's one person who stood up for America through all this, it's her. And I'm not going to get into the whole fact. I mean, you know what? 5 years ago, yeah, she might have been a little wishy-washy on the Israel issue. So were most of us. And we woke up in the past few years. So don't give me that crap. Don't give me the crap that she took the money and run, that she made all this money. That's not true. It's lies, and you're a propagandist if you're pushing that. It's absolutely not true. She's had successful companies beforehand. That's proven. But you're picking up what people say on X. Oh, well, look, she made $20 million in office. Yeah, through her companies. And not even that much, if I'm not mistaken. It was a false figure that got put out there. So don't feed into that propaganda. That's false and it's wrong. And you're a propagandist if you're pushing that. It's not true. Marjorie was one of the few people who actually fought for this country. What has that gotten her? What has it done for her? And so you know what she said? She said, what am I going to do? In her letter, she says, we're going to get killed in the midterms, which they are. What's the point? She doesn't have support from Trump anymore. Trump renounces his support, which is what led to these death threats from her own people, from the right side, not from the left side, from the right side. And she says, what is the point of me putting my life and my family on the line anymore and fighting through all of this hell, through taking all of this crap, going through one of the bloodiest elections she'll ever be able to go through, and just for what? To lose everything she's worked for in a Democrat-ran Congress? Guess what it's going to be? The left will win both sides of Congress, the House and the Senate. That's no surprise. It's coming. So why would she fight through all of that, losing time with her family, losing time with her friends, losing time living her life, being happy, for a bunch of crap to be thrown at her for no reason? I get it. I don't blame her. What's the point? And she says at the end, she doesn't believe this can be saved organically, democratically. And she realized it, and I think it depressed her. I've had multiple people tell me it upset her. I for a second wondered if she might try to run for president in 28. I've seen sources say yes, that she's considering it, or at least was. I heard today she's not. As far as I know, it's out of the question. She's just wanting to be done, but she's in good spirits, so thank God for that. We're praying for Marjorie. Pray for her yourself. Her peace, her safety, her family's safety. It's a dangerous world out here. It's dangerous. We see that firsthand with another prime woman in this movement, Candace Owens. Candace comes out. It has been announced that the France put out a hit on her to try to have her assassinated, much like Charlie, the one she's standing up for. We're going to read through that. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's just dive straight into it, making sure we have it all. Oh, make sure I can get it up here. Make sure you can see it. Yes. Let's just read the announcement she has out. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something does happen. In short, this person has claimed that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you've read that correctly. More specifically, the green light was given to a small team and National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I am told there's one Israeli that is on this assassination squad and that the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Poussard, I don't know how to say that. His life is at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since this source claims that our leaders are aware of this. But I have more specific information, which is definitively verifiable, should they care to reach out to me. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you truly. Let all be revealed. This is coming directly from Candace. An assassination attempt on her life. Already bought and paid for by potentially the same people who assassinated Charlie. Now, I hope people know, and I hope the word spreads. We know who these people are indirectly. We know Israel's involved. We know France is involved. They're pissed about her revealing that Bridget is not really Bridget. He's a man, transgender. Now, I will say this. What's the point of that argument? I mean, I think it's crucial to know that the government lies to us, but it's not my hill that I would die on personally. I believe her. I think she's showed the proof. I think that the French government has made a fool of themselves, the whole thing. And that's more or less why this hit's coming out. But regardless, they're trying to assassinate her. And people love to say, oh, well, Candace is crazy. Candace doesn't know what she's talking about. Candace makes stuff up. Where's she been wrong? She's brought her receipts, like y'all like to say. She showed text messages live on her show that y'all said were fabricated. Is there anything else that she could do? I mean, honestly, what else do you want from her? She says Brigitte Macron is a man. He's a man. They can't prove it. Instead of doing a finger prick test to say, hey, look, check my blood, check for an XX and not an XY. This woman man thing says, well, I'll take a picture of my vagina and show it to the court. Nobody wants to see that, you old fart. And of course, you probably had a transgender surgery. You're not. It's beyond me. That whole situation is beyond me. But regardless, it keeps coming out more and more and more that she's right. She's the only one diving into Charlie Kirk's assassination deeply. Candace is a very influential person when it comes to that. That's something I dove into quite a bit. And she has even more information than I do on it. And she dives into it and she releases it and she shows it and she has the connections. So why do we just say she's wrong? It's because people want you to believe that. There's very few people in this movement you can trust. To me, I would argue she's one of the more trustworthy ones, trustworthy individuals. Yeah, there's this whole push. Well, this one's a Fed. No, you're a Fed. And they're doing like the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. Oh, you're a Fed. No, maybe nobody's a Fed. We saw that with Nick and with Tucker. They said, oh, maybe neither one of us are Feds. Maybe we're just kind of getting put against one another to act like we're the enemy when we should all be working together. That's what Marjorie says. That's what Nick has been pushing recently. We have to unite. Big shout out right now to the Restorative Party. If you're watching this, I appreciate your work. We spoke earlier today. If y'all don't follow the Restorative Party on Instagram, I think they're on other platforms as well now. Go follow them. They're uniting people saying, we have to do something. And that's exactly what Marjorie said. She said, the people have to do something. And until the people realize that they have the power and not the officials, and we organize and we work together, she's out. We have to do something as people, as citizens. Do you know how important it is? Do you understand the power you hold? 350 million of us, 250 million. But regardless, they can't stop us. They don't have the power to stop us, to do anything. They just give you the illusion that they have the power. And their power that they do have comes from us. It stems from what we do. It stems from what we say. It stems from our money and tax. It stems from our support. And they grow more powerful and more evil, dictator-like, day by day. Day by day. They take that power and they run with it and they love it and they're power hungry. They're money hungry. And they say, screw you. Screw you. If you're the one who wants change, if you want to save this nation, screw you. That's what they tell us. We don't care about you. We don't care about what you want. We care about Israel. We care about Netanyahu. We care that the videos of us sleeping with children don't come out. But we don't care about you, the citizen. That's their motto. That's their mantra. When people like Marjorie and Massey and Candace step out and call it out, they get death threats. They get assassination attempts. They get ridiculed. They get just absolutely pushed out of the way. Slaps them out of the way. Says, no, we don't need you anymore, actually. And until we band together behind somebody and truly support them and truly try to get radical, real change, it's not going to happen. It requires me and you to work together, to do great things together as a people, as an organized people. That's been what Nick's sentiment has been here recently. He has said, look, you know what? Maybe we got to have a populist group that comes together. It's not really moderate in the middle, but kind of radical on both sides and says, you know what? The left, if you'll give us the border shutdown, no more immigration, we'll give you a little bit of like the social projects and education and healthcare. Let's work together and band together to get Israel the hell out of our government, to get rid of transnational organized Jewry and the power that they possess, to release the Epstein files and arrest and hang those who are in them, and to see real change, to overthrow this bullcrap, middle-of-the-road regime that works together to basically keep America in this little chokehold. We can't do anything. It's a good sentiment. This is a sentiment of the Restorative Party in a lot of ways. That we need to see some real change, some real radical change if we ever want to make it out of this. It's a scary spot we're in, guys. It really is. It really is. Is this going to be the state of the world? Is this going to be the state of what we dive into forever now? Is it going to be the scary place where we don't even know what's guaranteed, what tomorrow might bring? Trump brings in Mamdani to the White House this week. Zohran Mamdani, he won the mayor position in New York. Nobody knows what religion he is. He says he's a Muslim. He eats rice with his hands, getting them all greasy, and he wears a little hat like he's a Jew half the time and meets with all the Jewish people. So I don't know what he is. I don't know what he's going to bring. He's a socialist. He doesn't have a very good plan. But the people voted him in overwhelmingly because he made sense. I mean, if we're being honest, in a lot of ways, he made sense. And he said, look, I care about you. And the people are honestly at this point saying, well, you know what? Nothing else is working. Maybe we should try socialism. What's the worst that happens? We can't really be much worse than we are. The economy sucks. I can't buy a house. So maybe you should at least give me some free groceries and healthcare. It can't get much worse. Why not just give it a shot? That's what they said. At least he don't support Israel, we think. He said common sense things, and people were like, you know what? Maybe we should just give it a try. Now, Trump brings him in and plays this whole thing up after giving all this criticism. Now they're going to be friends in the White House. That was weird. I wasn't a big fan of that this week. I think it was a real slap in the face to most of the Republican Party. And on top of the news of Mike Huckabee meeting with a Jewish spy, a literal American spy for the Jewish nation of Israel, who has been convicted here, Trump pardoned him. He literally gave our secrets to Israel during the Cold War. Was arrested, tried for treason, and Trump pardoned him in his first term. And Mike Huckabee's over there cutting it up with them. Let's go talk to him. What secrets are they given now? That's a good question. What's going on there? We found that out, that Mike Huckabee's meeting with this dude who is celebrated in Israel. They love him. Why are we allowing these people to run our entire life, our entire country, our politicians, paid and bought? All of them, but well, Marjorie and Massey just about, and Marjorie's gone. And who knows about Massey? Smear campaign going against him right now in Kentucky. This is our reality, and we need to see change. It's exhausting seeing it happen live. Once you wake up, once you take the red pill, you cannot go back to sleep. You see it and it hurts you. And it lives rent-free in your head because you love this country. I'm a nationalist. I love this country. I want to see it succeed. I want to see it thrive. And I see the people destroying it, and the nation of Israel destroying it, and the nation of Ukraine destroying it, taking our money and running with it, destroying our economy, shipping in tens of millions of foreigners to come completely eradicate the American culture with their own, and telling you that you're racist and wrong if you're a white person. I'm tired of it. I've seen what's going on, and I cannot turn back. I care about this country, and I care about our future too much to do that. Now, I pray that you people wake up too, if you haven't already. Many of you have, and I appreciate you being here and showing support and sharing and commenting and doing what you do. We need that. We need the people to rise up and organize and tell the government, you're going to do what we say, not the other way around. We're the employer and you're the employee. We pay you to be there, and you're going to do what we say. That's what we need. It gets me fired up to see what's happening in this nation. It gets me fired up to know that we are paying these people to screw us. KY jelly. And have no remorse for it. And then we don't ever give them anything back. We don't ever push back and say, hey, that's wrong. Hey, you shouldn't do that. We need action. We need to tell them, stop now. What does that take? It takes organization. Organization is key. My favorite quote: an unorganized majority will always lose to the organized minority. What if we were the organized majority? We would win in a landslide. It's time for organization. Oh, guys, put your questions, comments down in the chat. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you're at. Put them down here. I'll answer them. Not a super long show tonight. Wherever you're at, put them in there. Let me scroll up on Instagram, see what we got said here. I don't know if we got any on the other platforms, YouTube and such. YouTube says, keep posting, man. You're my only trusted news source. Man, I appreciate it. I do what I can. I bring you the most unbiased news I can as a Christian nationalist who loves this country, who loves God first and foremost, and who wants to see success for you, for our people, for this nation. Do what I can. And it requires true news to be spread. Let's see what else we got. See you in Valhalla. Yeah, that was an interesting one, wasn't it? That was a funny one. See you in Valhalla. Let's see. She just heard they're planning on unloving her. I'm assuming unaliving her. I pray for her safety. Yeah, me too. I pray for Marjorie. I don't know if you're talking about Marjorie or if you're talking about Candace. I pray for both their safety. They need it. It's crucial. We pray for them. And before you go off, if anybody goes off on Marjorie saying she was going to lose the next election, I'm sorry. You're a propagandist. This isn't true. Marjorie is from my district. She has undying support here. People love Marjorie Taylor Greene here in North Georgia. They've already pledged their support for her, despite Trump pulling his. This area loves her. She would have won. It would have been a bloody battle because of all the money that would have been poured into making sure she didn't win, but she still would have won. So no, she didn't say, well, I'm not going to win. She said, I don't want to fight this battle anymore for nothing. It can't be changed through politics. She saw that firsthand. She saw how they did the Epstein files. I think that's what really changed her mind. She pushed and she pushed and she pushed for these Epstein files. And what do we get? We get binders full of redacted paperwork, and we get just these absolutely washed documents. We don't get the real thing. We're not going to see true justice when it comes to the Epstein files. So what she fought for, then the Republican Party picks up and says, well, fine, we'll support it now after years and all this mockery. And then they don't actually support it. They give us a fake version is what happened. And she said, I don't want to put up with that. That hurts. I think that's what woke her up. She was going to win, but what's the point in fighting? What's the point in doing it anymore? That's what she said. Let's see what else we got in the chat here. Oh, looks like she was talking about Candace. As Muslims, we accept Jesus as our Messiah. Christians are waiting for the return of Jesus. As Zionists are waiting for the Antichrist. They'll be the first. I don't want to get into the religious stuff today, guys. We'll talk about Christianity. I don't want to dive into the Christianity-Muslim thing. Most of y'all know, no, I don't support Islam. I'm a Christian. Yes, I would honestly probably argue that in a lot of ways, Islam is closer to Christianity than Judaism. I've dove down that rabbit hole multiple times. I don't want to dive down it today necessarily. We're talking about Christianity. If I have Christian questions, well, I'll answer them all day. I don't mind. But I don't want to dive down the Muslim rabbit hole today. We love her in Georgia. Heck yeah, we do. If you're here in Georgia, you know it. The people in D.C. who are saying, well, she was going to lose anyways. How do you know that? How do you know that from D.C.? How do you know what her people are saying? What her constituents here in Georgia are saying? They love her. So get out of here with that bull crap. If you don't think that Marjorie is going to win, you're either ignorant, unintelligent, or misinformed. Sadly, many are all three. That's what we see with people like Laura Loomer, that ugly man thing. Yeah. As a Muslim, they love Candace, Tucker, and Marjorie. That's good. Yeah, we all do. I think Marjorie may have been threatened, and that's why she gave up. That, and like you said, she felt outnumbered. Yeah, I mean, she was probably threatened. We know that she was threatened. Her life was threatened. I know that for a fact. Like I said, I have multiple sources close to her. They've told me that. She's received multiple death threats, security firms reaching out to her. That's scary. You don't want to go through that. Just the fear of assassination isn't how you want to go. Look at Charlie. Look at the backlash with all this. You don't want to see that. Look at the backlash from the left when Charlie was assassinated. Charlie was moderate. And they're like, oh, he was a Nazi. Oh, he sucked. Oh, he did this. Oh, he did. Marjorie was a whole lot more radical than Charlie was. And you don't want to see that backlash. You don't want to see all the hatred for people, how they feel for you. It tears people up. I think if y'all don't have any more questions, I think some people put some on Instagram earlier. Let me go find them. But yeah, while I'm looking for these questions, if you have more yourself, put them in the comments. I forgot to write these down. I started writing my thing tonight, and yeah, I just forgot, to be honest. Should be an archive, I think, to see those questions. There was a couple on here that y'all give me. I want to see them. Here's a good one. This is one y'all put on my story. I'm gonna try to start doing this too. Is give y'all some responses beforehand if you have a question, so I can have some time to look at them, make sure I have them laid out. Sometimes I miss y'all's questions on here. Somebody put on the story. Why does everyone villainize Nick Fuentes? In my opinion, he's a true American. I agree. He should not be villainized. His opinion is not that radical. Nick is not very radical, honestly. But because of his sentiment early on about Israel, he was shadow banned across the entire nation, across all of social media, across his bank accounts on the no-fly list. That's evil. And this is the government. This is the this industrial governmental complex, I guess you call it. I don't even know that pushes these things that Marjorie speaks out against. She had a specific name for it. I wish I could remember it. It was big words, but she spoke out and she said that you can't push it out of the way with one person. No elected official can do it. It takes the constituents. It takes the people. Well, Nick, as himself, has had to fight this complex by himself for a decade. And finally, he's becoming more mainstream as a true patriot, a true American. And I think that's great. I think it's great for Nick. It's it's a scary spot to be in. Imagine waking up tomorrow and having no access to the money that you own, to being able to fly, to anything. That's a scary thought. Nick fought through it and still did his show, still pushed his beliefs, and he has not changed in them hardly at all in a decade. How incredible is that? It should speak to his consistency, his persistence to what he believes in. So that's why I really do support Nick. Um, The other two are kind of random. Death to the New World Order. Yeah, I don't want a New World Order. Donald Trump doesn't care about the United States of America. Yeah, I don't really think he does either, to be honest. I don't think Trump cares about the United States of America. I think that he cares about his own money. I think he cares about Israel. And that's what it's going to be. That's the end of it. Honestly, it's sad. It's disheartening. Um, that's the truth. I'm going to do a little scroll here, see if we got any more. Do you think Candace will actually get assassinated? No, I don't think. I don't think so. One of the interesting things about reality is how we can skew it in a way. We can skew the course that things are going. For instance, I am a believer that Erica and JD were probably, in some capacity, preparing for a marriage and a run together for the presidential campaign in 2028 as America's couple. But I think that our realization of that and calling out of that skewed it to where it won't happen now. I think that's the course we were on, and that we as a group skewed it, put up pulled the lever on the railroad tracks, which switches it, and changed course, changed direction. Because if you call it out beforehand and it happens, well, for one, you prove all of the conspiracy theorists right, and then you can't call them a theorist anymore. And two, your agenda is already laid out. People understand your agenda. They don't want that. So in this case, I think Candace calling it out, this official, this brave man in the French government, calling Candace, getting a hold of her, and showing what was going to happen, I think prevents it from happening. Because if she dies now, everyone knows who done it. It kind of blows their cover in a sense. So I think we skewed reality. We pulled the lever and we changed the course of the tracks. We changed the course of the train. We got to keep doing that. We got to pull a whole lot of levers to get that train to do a 180 and get back to where we need to go. It's tough. It's hard. But no, I don't think now she'll be assassinated. Had this news not have come out, I think it's a good possibility. Because I think that Israel would have had the blame put on them. They wouldn't have took the blame. I think the French government probably would have gotten away with it to some extent. They would have caught some flack probably, but Israel would have been more of it probably. The American government would have gotten quite a bit. So that's a tough question. But no, I don't think that she would do that. May God protect Candace Owens. Amen. I don't think you finished your thought. Oh, it's all falling apart. Yeah, everything's falling apart. Everything is falling apart right now, man. It's embarrassing, honestly, as a United States citizen to sit back and watch it fall apart. But it is. It's just the fact of the matter. The New World Order is part of preparing us for the arrival of the Antichrist. Yeah, I could see that. In some ways, this is a religious thing. Some ways, I'm split, really, on whether or not the events of Revelation happened yet. Are they yet to come, or did they happen with the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem in 70 AD? There's a lot of reasons why I probably lean towards that. Um, this idea of the rapture and everything is a relatively new idea. It came across pretty recently, dispensationalism and such. So I'm not going to say no for a fact that that's not how it's going to happen. I lean towards Revelation happened in 70 AD. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm also hopeful that it happened in 70 AD, that literally at any point in time, God could just come back and we spend eternity with him. I'm hopeful for that because the way the world's going, I'm really hopeful for it. Believe, I don't know what this is talking about. All right, guys, I think I just want to wrap up the show. As always, I do want to share my testimony with y'all. If you have not accepted Jesus Christ, talk about him a little bit. Accept him, love him, choose him, put him first. He loves you. He died for you. He is God as man in flesh, and he died for your sins. He lived a perfect life and died for you that you might have eternity with him in peace. All of this craziness in the world, there's peace in Jesus Christ. That's what the Bible says. If you want peace, turn to Jesus. You'll find it quickly, and you'll find it for eternity. Even more crucial is that. Give your life to Jesus. I promise you won't regret it. I promise you'll find peace. I promise you eternity with him is a whole lot better than the lake of fire, than hell is. And I pray that you realize it. I pray that my words touch you in a way where you come to Jesus. Like I said, always, if you have Christianity questions, reach out. I'd love to answer them. I'd love to do what I can to help you in your journey towards Jesus. So that's going to be it. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate y'all being here today. Relatively short show. I don't even think we hit an hour. I think we're like 45, 40 minutes. Nothing crazy. Not too bad. So I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a great